There's an urban legend in the small town of Greyhaven about a playground deep in the woods, abandoned for decades. Locals call it the silent playground because, no matter how loud you are, no sound seems to carry beyond its rusted gates. It's said that children who visit the playground hear voices calling their names, but when they turn to look, no one is there. Some claim they've seen shadows darting between the swings, others swear they've heard the creak of empty seats moving on windless nights. For a group of teenagers, Emma, Jake, and Riley, this was the perfect place to spend Halloween. Armed with flashlights, a Polaroid camera, and a sense of adventure, they set out to find the infamous playground. The woods were unnervingly quiet as they walked, the crunch of leaves underfoot sounding muted. Even Jake, the self-proclaimed skeptic, admitted the silence felt unnatural. The air grew colder the deeper they went, and when they finally reached the playground, a thick fog had settled over the ground. The playground was exactly as described, eerily still. Rusted swings hung limply from broken chains, the slide was pockmarked with rust, and the merry-go-round leaned slightly to one side. A faded "Keep Out" sign dangled from the gate, swaying as though something unseen had brushed past it. "This is it?" Jake scoffed, kicking a loose rock. "Not so scary." Emma shivered, hugging herself. "It's creepy. Let's just take some pictures and go." Riley raised the Polaroid and snapped a picture of the swings. The camera whirred, spitting out the photo. She shook it impatiently as they waited for the image to develop. When it did, they all froze. The picture showed the swings, but they weren't empty. Sitting on them were three shadowy figures, each vaguely childlike in size but lacking any distinct features. Their heads were tilted unnaturally, as if staring at the camera. Jake laughed nervously. Probably a trick of the light or something. Emma snatched the camera and took a picture of the merry-go-round. The Polaroid developed, and this time the shadows were closer, standing beside the merry-go-round, their heads still tilted. "Okay, I'm done," Emma said, backing toward the gate. But when she turned, the gate was gone. The path they'd come through was now nothing but dense trees. Riley tried to sound brave. "Probably just got turned around. Let's retrace our steps." But the playground didn't seem to want them to leave. The fog thickened, and the air grew heavier with each passing moment. The swings began to creak, moving in unison despite the stillness of the air. "Do you hear that?" Emma whispered, clutching Jake's arm. A faint giggle echoed through the fog. It was soft at first, almost sweet, but it quickly turned into a high-pitched, distorted laughter. Shadows darted between the rusted equipment, too quick to follow. Jake pointed his flashlight toward the merry-go-round, but the light flickered and died. "Nope, nope, nope, nope." The laughter stopped abruptly, replaced by a voice, childlike and sing-song, yet hollow. "Stay and play." The merry-go-round began to spin on its own, faster and faster, until it was a blur. Emma screamed as one of the swings snapped forward, narrowly missing her face. "Run!" Jake shouted, pulling them toward the slide. They huddled at its base, breathing heavily. But the fog only grew denser and the shadows more aggressive. Now they could see them clearly, childlike figures with hollow eyes and gaping mouths, their limbs bending in unnatural ways as they crawled closer. Riley snapped another picture out of desperation. This time, the Polaroid didn't show shadows. It showed Emma, Jake, and herself. But their faces were twisted into grotesque, hollow visages, just like the figures closing in on them. "What do you want?" Emma sobbed. The laughter returned, louder now, echoing from every direction. "Stay and play." The last thing they saw before the fog consumed them was the merry-go-round slowing to a stop, its rusted surface smeared with fresh crimson handprints. When the townsfolk found the playground days later, there was no trace of the teens. But on the rusted swing set, 3 Polaroid photos hung, swaying gently in the breeze.